This is the University of Nebraska's radio station, 90.3 KRNU, Lincoln.
All right, we're here back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center where it's Huskers 33, Penn State 26, and I'm joined here by Channel 8's Eyewitness News Sports own Ian Hest. And Ian,
sounded good on the broadcast, buddy.
Hey, you know, I'm trying, man.
I'm
trying. So, you've watched the first half here. What do you take away from the first half?
It was sloppy, would probably be the nice way to use it. Both teams, but, I mean, Penn State, they went, more than half of the half without making a bucket. I think that says a lot about the fact that they're still within 7 points right now. Nebraska had an opportunity to really pull away and didn't do it. And it really came from behind the arc. They shot only 30% from three land in the first half. And so if they get that going, if Ray Gallegos starts to feel it, I mean, Brandon Ubell's the leading scorer at the half. He played 9 minutes in the first half. I think that tells you about the offensive deficiencies of both of these teams. But Nebraska definitely a 7-point lead at half. I think most fans would have expected with the poor shooting that Penn State had in the first half, you probably would have liked to have a bigger lead.
Yeah, well, they struggle to get the ball in the hoop no matter what, it seems like. And they're lucky they have 16 points from the free throw line. We'll see if the refs continue to call it this tight.
That was probably the slowest half ever from that.
That took about a little over an hour, I think, just for one half there. So with this win tonight, the Huskers would equal their win total from last year with 12. So do you think they would have exceeded Husker fans' expectations this year?
Absolutely. I mean, the Vegas odds makers, right, and you don't like to go to that, but they put this season at 7.5. 7.5. I mean, most Husker fans, I would say, probably put it at around that 10 to 12 range. So if they match this year, or if they match last year tonight, you still have, I think, 7 more games on the slate. You have plenty of opportunities and a very impressive group, something that I didn't think was possible maybe 3-4 months ago.
Yeah, after tonight you have 3 home games left and 4 away, and then the automatically won in the Big Ten Conference Tournament there up in Chicago. So, you know, they can even go more than 12 perhaps if they can sneak an upset.
The rest of the schedule is very difficult.
Yep.
This is a great opportunity to match that win total tonight, and they need to take care of business tonight. We'll worry about the rest after tonight.
Well, looking farther into the future, next year, we're in the new arena, and it looks like we'll have a completely different team with 3 new recruits and 3 guys who are redshirting out this year. What do you look forward to next year?
I'm excited to see how the guard rotation's about to play out, because there is a lot of great young talent from this recruiting class. We've got like Deverell Biggs, who's sitting on the bench right now, and you have 2 great young guards in Benny Parker and Ray Gallegos, who have really, I mean, Benny Parker is playing injured tonight. He hurt himself in that half and came back, and he's done that several times this year. So it'll be interesting to see how deep that guard rotation goes. Nick Fuller is an opportunity there. There's plenty of guys around here. On the flip side of that, where is the big men depth going to come from? And I think that Walter Pitchford has a great opportunity to flex some muscle early on, but you're still very thin from that standpoint. I want to see how the rotation from the point guards work, or how the rotation from the guards work, but also where the depth from the big men comes from.
Yeah, well, you hope with that recruit, Matthew Atue, who was here about 2 weeks ago, he's narrowed his choices, and it's down to Nebraska with 5 other schools. And, you're talking with the guards, that Nate Hawkins from out of Texas, he was nominated for McDonald's All-American, so he could be part of that
Ty
game.
Webster's
Ty
a
Webster,
scoring point guard.
4-star. If he was in the U.S., Fran Fraschilla, who does the international recruiting, he said be a top 30 recruit. So, I mean, take that what you want.
You watched him at the World Championships, and he was phenomenal there. And that's really when he came on the scene and everybody started recruiting him. So he's a great player.
And then looking at the Big Ten Conference today, Wisconsin with the huge win, the half-court shot to send it in overtime, and with Indiana struggling as well. Who do you think is going to come out on top here?
I mean, you didn't think that you would include Wisconsin in that top tier, but really you have to say at this point, any one of those 5 schools, really, or maybe even 6, Indiana, Michigan, Michigan State, Ohio State, and Wisconsin will probably be the 5 that I would put. But Illinois is another team that played well at home against Indiana. If I had to pick one right now, I think Michigan's probably the most complete team in the Big Ten, but you can't go wrong with any one of those 5 teams.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I would also pick Michigan as well. I mean, the half-court shot, that was a little unlucky today for them.
Exactly.
They should have fouled, but we'll see.
And they got lucky on a dunk right before that really gets overshadowed. That could have been a charge call. So Michigan had that game and let it sort of slip away.
And then for those who don't know, Ian is from the state of Florida. where the Miami Hurricanes are ranked number 8th in the nation
I'm hoping
right
they
now.
get to number 1 after all these. Thank you, Wisconsin. They're helping me out.
So what do you think of that team? What have you liked from them?
I honestly, I think that it's very easy to say that a non-traditional power is prime for an upset. And I've had to discuss that with several other fellow media members here in the past couple of days. I think that top to bottom, they are perhaps the most complete team. You'll look at Florida, they're also up there, Michigan is up there, but they can hang with anybody. The first time in the history of the ACC that a team has beaten North Carolina and Duke by more than 25 points in the same season. So it's a dream season. I never thought it would be possible. A lot of my friends back home are loving the ride that they're getting to go on right now.
Well, I also have the question with Larinaga. Most people know him from the whole George Mason run. When he was first hired, did you think that was a good fit? Were you optimistic?
Here's a great thing for Husker fans, because Jim Larinaga is getting a lot of praise now as possibly being the coach of the year. Sean Eichhorst hired Jim Larinaga. That's his only hire at the University of Miami. So that's something from Nebraska land to be excited for. Jim's a great guy, a guy who is very matter of fact, very similar to Tim Miles. He gets into it, but he expects a lot of his players. It's one of those guys that you say, he just gets it. And he's very similar to Miles in that. Miles maybe a little bit more energetic and a little bit more flirtatious with the media, if you will. But they are very comparable styles. But that Eichhorst comparison, that Eichhorst link, is very important for Husker fans.
All right, Ian. Well, we appreciate you joining us and talking at halftime.
Buddy.
So appreciate it. We'll it's Huskers 33, Penn State 26. We'll get it back here before the tip-off here. We're listening to Husker basketball on 90.3 KRNU.